Good morning. I would like to start off with a quote here, and the quote is from our President Barack Obama. In the coming years, jobs requiring at least an associate degree are projected to grow twice as fast as jobs requiring no college experience. We will not fill those jobs or keep those jobs on our shores without the training offered by community colleges. In the last few years, community colleges have arrived. We've arrived because we have received some level of funding from the federal government. We have incentivized the opportunity for us to be what we have always construed ourselves to be, and that's the largest provider of workforce training. During the recession, the Maricopa Community Colleges served 275,000 students here in the Valley. The makeup of those students represented first generation, middle income. Average age had dropped from about 32 to 26, so we had those individuals who were looking for an opportunity to go to the universities, and because of prices, they looked for another option, and as Michael has described, we were able to provide another option through developing pathways through our community college system so that our students of every level, of low income, first generation, and others can have an opportunity to succeed. As mentioned earlier, we have over 40 academic programs and over 1,000 occupational programs. About a week ago, we awarded in excess of almost 25,000 certificates and degrees. So between our two institutions, we think that we are doing a pretty good job, but we can do more. We've developed pathways for success because we think that students, quite frankly, need a pathway so that they know where to go. And if we keep them on that pathways, we believe that they will be successful. We are one of the key transfer partners to ASU. We also have NAU located on all of our college campuses, and we have them working with all of our students. You can begin and end without leaving our campus in some baccalaureate degree programs. When you look at the pathway program that Michael had described, there was a lot of distrust between the institutions. And what was necessary was that the leaders needed to come together and talk about the fact that this is the time for an innovative change. And with an innovative change, there will be long-lasting positive implications here in the Valley. With that in mind, I want to describe with you some of the things that are happening in our environment. We also have as one of our colleges, Rio Salado, which is the largest online two-year provider in the U.S., the largest, serving about 60,000 students, capacity to serve up to 100,000, capacity to make money. And many of you know in this state, we have a disincentive. We can't keep money. And I will describe that a little bit later, but I just want to set the tone. Last year, we had an economic impact of the Valley of $7.3 billion. We have a return on investment that is higher than many across the country and definitely within the state. We offer high demand degrees in 19 of the 20 areas identified by the state of Arizona. We're working very closely with the Arizona Commerce Authority. We looked for another option to be innovative in 2013 and created an 11th college, which is called the Maricopa Corporate College, so that we could service the community, so that we could service the corporate entities within our valley and do increased non-credit training, but also to make money. Now, if you think I'm fixated on money, let me tell you the reason why. For the first time in 50 years, effective July 1st, Maricopa Community Colleges and Pima Community Colleges will no longer have state funding. A high of state funding of 29% will now be at zero. Within the budget, there will not even be a name that says Maricopa Community Colleges. Now, you can be pissed off along the way when you lose the money, but to not even have a line item that says zero, the question is, what message are you trying to send to the largest provider of workforce training? We talk about demographic changes within the state of Arizona. We talk about their coming. Well, folks, everyone knows that they are here. We have an Achieving a College Education program called ACE, where these students we reach out to in sophomore year in high school, and these are the students who hadn't even thought about they could go on to college. And we give them hope. We bring in the parents, we engage them, we bring them to our college campuses. And those who are willing to sign with us graduate from high school with a minimum of 12 college credits and many as 24 college credits. And they engage their family members. 70% or more of those students are Latino students that move through that program. It's open to all students. We have a Hoop of Learning program to work with our indigenous students in order to provide them with a cultural opportunity to have cohorts to move through our system so that they will have a pathway to succeed within this environment. But we have others around us who are pushing us to move in a different direction, to take that innovation and say that it is not worthy and that there are other ways for you to support this institution within this state, but you cannot do it through us. So we're trying to understand what that message is. When you take away the resources is one thing. When you take away an identity, then what's next? For the Maricopa Community Colleges, we are identifying our new identity. And our new identity is to be in your face and in the face of everyone else every day, every moment, so that when you have a need, that you focus on our community colleges and that you do not use transfer and graduation as the only metrics of success in a community college environment. We are still receiving 3 out of 5 students testing into 1 or more remedial classes. And they're not all coming from our high schools. The numbers are better coming from our high schools, but not much better. But we have individuals between the ages of 25 and 34 that are coming back to our institutions and are looking for another opportunity to move forward. You can only become so effective and so efficient and so innovative that you begin to lose that edge. We were told by the budget director of the state of Arizona when we served 275,000 students that we did such a great job that they didn't feel a need to fund us because we continue to serve. So at what point do you start not serving your community, not serving your students, so that you can please those who might give you those resources? So with your help, with your support, with your assistance, and with this notion of innovation, we are reaching to look at new areas. And when I talk about new areas, they're expanded areas. They're expanded areas to let people know that we work in the areas of aviation and avionics. We work and train pilots. We repair airplanes. We work with Hughes Aircraft and other major manufacturing companies. We're one of the largest providers of trainers within the space for aerospace. We've just recently been awarded an ESA Center for Academic Excellence in the 2-year space for cybersecurity. And I was just mentioning to Michael, that's a 4-year designation, and that over the next 4 years, we expect to work with ASU so that we can build that pipeline for that student. We've just recently been in conversations with the economic developers here in our valley to talk about this notion of our velocity plan. And the velocity plan, which I know is not going to move and take traction, but it's to increase the number of engineers here in the valley, so that with this pathway from our community colleges, we can take our energy grant, our Get in the Energy grant, a trade adjustment grant that Estrella Mountain is leading at about $13.5 million, and we also have Chandler Gilbert and other community colleges. working with our energy companies throughout the state, so that we can transition an individual who comes to our colleges that is initially a line worker, has no desires to be an engineer, but now he's a line worker. We get him involved in a pathway to an engineering degree by providing him with opportunities and stackable credentials so that he can come in and out of the workplace, have a livable wage, take care of his family, transition to the university, and then have a 4-year degree. Is that innovation? Is it common sense? Is it partnerships? Whatever it is, we need to expand. We need to expand stackable credentials in cybersecurity and manufacturing and all of those other areas, and bring students into our institutions and work with them each and every day. This notion of desired qualifications and the profile that you need. When you begin to talk to employers, they also say, you bring us individuals with great skills, but can you find someone with common sense? Can you bring those soft skills to the workplace so that these are individuals that can be moved throughout our institutions so that we can look at training supervisors and have them in place 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I've recently been meeting with manufacturers in the sizes of 2,500 square feet, 25,000, 250,000, and many of them have the same issue. Within the next 4 to 5 years, their numbers will drop. How can we support them? How can we be innovative and say that the community colleges have found one solution that can be expanded into others? Our community colleges are also partnering in the areas of disconnected youth. I understand that you have been talking about disconnected youth. Michael talked about the fact that they have a charter school. We have 2 charter schools and are sponsoring a 3rd. And people say to us, why are you sponsoring a charter school? What we're looking for is also having a charter school that can demonstrate success, that has an A rating. And if you can find that silver bullet, if you can scale that silver bullet, then you can begin to reduce some of those elements that are surrounding us in the notion of developmental ed and others. And let me close by just saying, I was meeting with the Higher Learning Commission yesterday, our accrediting agency, and we talked about this notion of mission creep. The Maricopa Community Colleges, during my time, and I would hope, would focus on the fact that we have great transfer partners. So we don't need to be baccalaureate degree granting institutions in the state. Notice what I said, Michael, in the state. Okay? However, we need to have great partners so that we can give those students those pathways to succeed. And in talking to the Higher Learning Commission, I asked them to think about not mission creep going the direction of 4-year institutions, but what we have to do in terms of mission creep to support the K-12 systems that are hurting even more than we are. I think our ability to thrive and move forward will be that partnership between pre-kindergarten through graduate school, and with that, I believe all of us will prosper. Thank you.